Hello guys, this is Dr. Keshan Kumar and today I am going to teach 11th class biology first chapter, the living world. As we look around, we will find the different kinds of animals, plants, birds, fungus, bacteria, etc. But if someone asks us what is the definition of living being, what is living, then how can we define it? Simple, we can say an individual which exhibits the characteristics of growth, reproductions, metabolisms, cellular organizations, and consciousness is called living being. Now we will discuss the features of living one by one. First we will start with the growth. As per the NCERT definitions, the growth is defined as increase in mass and increase in number of individuals. These are the twin characteristics of the growth. Here two things are given. First is increase in mass, second is the increase in number of individuals. This increase in mass can be understood with the help of the multicellular organisms, and increase in number of individuals can be understood with the help of unicellular organisms. First we will see the multicellular organisms. We know the multicellular organisms is made up of more than one cells like plants and animals, and these multicellular organisms increase their size or they increase their mass with the help of cell divisions. In case of the plants, the cell divisions occurs continuously throughout their lifespans. This is the why the plants grow throughout their lifetime. While in case of the animals, the growth can be seen only up to a certain age. However, the cell divisions occurs in certain tissues to replace lost cells. If we look unicellular organisms, as per the definition, uni means single. It means it, it is made up of only one cell. Here, these organisms can also grow with the help of the cell divisions, but here the cell divisions cannot increase the size or mass like multicellular organisms, but they can increase their numbers. And we can easily observe these numbers by in vitro culture by simply counting the number of cells under the microscope. In vitro means like glass petri plates, glass tubes, that means in vitro. So it means in unicellular organisms, growth is the synonymous of the reproductions. Reproductions means productions of the progeny that has the similar features. Like dogs will produce the baby dogs and the human will produce the baby humans. That is the meaning of the reproductions. But in case of the higher animals, multicellular organisms, growth and reproductions are mutually exclusive events. But in case of unicellular organisms, growth and reproductions are mutually inclusive events. Now I think you you have understood the definitions of growth, that is increase in mass and increase in the number of the individuals. Like if we will look the multicellular organisms like plant and animals, they increase their mass. But if we will see the unicellular organisms like bacteria and yeast, they cannot increase their mass, but they can increase their numbers. So these are the twin characteristics of the growth. If increase in the body mass is the criteria for the growth, then non-living objects can also grow, like mountains, boulders, and sand mounds. But this type of growth is due to the accumulation of material on their surface. Means this growth is from outside. But in case of the living organisms, the growth is from the inside. Means this growth is the intrinsic. So we can say the growth is not a defining property of the living organisms, but we can say the intrinsic growth is a defining feature of the living organisms. Now, the next feature of the living organisms is the reproductions. Reproduction means productions of the progeny or individuals which possess the similar features those of parents. These reproductions are of two types, asexual and sexual. Asexual reproductions are further categorized into the binary fissions, budding, and fermentations. This like binary fission in the bacteria, we can see the bacteria is divided with the help of the fissions. And second, the budding, like in yeast and hydra. You can see there first it will start with the start by the budding formations, and these bud formations will start to increase their size and it will separate from their parents and it will produce the progeny similar to the parents yeast. In case of the planaria or flatworm, you can see after fragmentations they can reform their whole body or they can reproduce the new progeny. So these are the three features of the asexual reproductions like binary fissions, budding, and fragmentations. And we can see like in unicellular organisms we have studied in the growth, reproduction is the synonymous with the growth. We can see these are the mutually inclusive events. But in case of the multicellular organisms like plants and animals, reproductions and growth are the different things. These are not the synonymous. So we can say these are the mutually exclusive events. But there are many organisms are present which cannot reproduce, like mules, worker bees, and infertile human. So we can conclude from this study that reproduction is not a defining properties of the living organisms. Now the next feature is the metabolisms. The metabolisms means the sum total of all the chemical reactions occurring in our body is called metabolisms. These are of two types, catabolisms and anabolisms. Catabolisms means breakdowns of the larger molecules into the simpler molecules. Like the proteins can be broken down into the amino acids, the carbohydrate can be broken down into the glucose, and fat can be broken down into the glycerol or fatty acids. And now the second property of metabolism is the anabolisms. Anabolisms means the synthesis of the large molecules from the simpler molecules. Like the amino acids can be synthesized into the protein and the glucose can be synthesized into the energy like ATP, and the lipid is synthesized with the help of the fatty acids. All organisms, all plants, animals, fungi, and microbes, all of the organisms exhibits metabolisms. There is no living organisms are present that do not exhibit metabolisms. So we can say metabolism is a defining property of the living organism. Now next is the cellular organizations. If you look the picture of this E. coli bacteria, you can see there are number of components are present like DNA, ribosomes, pili, flagella, capsule, cell wall, plasma membrane, cytoplasms. These number of the components are arranged or organized to make up these cells. This is called the cellular organizations. And each components perform specific functions that is essential for a living cells. Similar, in case of the animal and plant cells, there are the number of components are present like lysosomes, ribosomes, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, chloroplast, endoplasmic reticulums, and these components are essential for their survivals, for the survival of the cells. So we can say the cellular organization is the defining feature of the life because without cellular organizations the cell cannot survive. If cell cannot survive, this means the organisms cannot survive, whether this is unicellular or multicellular organisms, because each organism is made up of cells. Now, the next feature of the living being is the consciousness. Now, as per the definition in the NCERT given, consciousness is defined as the ability to sense the surrounding or environmental stimuli and respond to this environmental stimuli, which could be physical, chemical, or biological. Now, what is the definition of stimuli and stimulant? Stimulus can be defined as the detectable change in the environment of an organism. Now, we will try to understand these definitions with the help of this picture. Now, when there is an increase in the heat in the surrounding of these girls, the skin receptor of these girls sense the heat change or stimulus and send the signal to the brain. Then brain instruct the body to cool it off. Now we will correlate it with the definitions. First is ability to sense their surrounding or environmental stimuli. Like this girl sense the change in the environmental heat or stimulus and respond to this environmental stimuli, and she respond to heat change by cooling off her body. Fine. So we have number of sense cell or receptors. Like for pain we have nociceptors, for vision we have photoreceptor cells, for taste we have gustatory cells, for pressure baroreceptor cell, for smell olfactory cells, for sound auditory receptor cells, for heat thermoreceptor cells. Similar to animals, plant can also respond to the external factors like in the presence of the light and temperatures, photosynthesis occurs. In the presence of the water, transpiration process occurs. Like this, some plants are like some plants are resistant to some organisms like pathogens, and one plant that is called Mimosa pudica, or in local we say it Chui Mui plant. Like when someone touch their leaves, it will shrink their leaves. So these are the consciousness of that plants, and respond to the pollutants. Like we know, the most of the plants, they absorb the pollutants from their surrounding and make their surrounding pollution free. Some animals like dogs, buffalo, cows, they reproduce at the particular seasons of the year. Similar, some plants also, they can also reproduce at the particular seasons of the year. So this type of reproduction is called photoperiodic reproductions. So their reproductions are is consciousness with the seasons of the years. All organisms from the prokaryotic to most complex eukaryotes can sense and respond to their environmental cues and stimuli. So we can see the consciousness is the defining properties of the living organisms. Thank you very much. Please subscribe my channel. This is my first lecture, and if you motivate me, I will continue to make all the lectures of 11th and 12th class biology. Thank you very much.